Good morning. Well, I promised that I would do a video today, and I'm here with my mother, Barbara. We thought we would just talk a little bit about the opportunity today with current information on the coronavirus. I think that one of the things that's interesting about this is that we aren't seeing people who are sick out there. It's not on the news even. They're not showing like how long it lasts and getting better. So that's been an odd piece for us. People, I think that we know may be gone forever from this, but also many people are going to be fine. And I think we always try to be in the moment, and that's the thing that's really important, is to be realizing that we can only affect this moment, and we're better when we act, not react. So remember that science is over 99% a synonym for the word fact, and I want to talk a little bit about the science that I've been able to glean on this. Maybe you found other things, but it looks like it has up to a 21-day incubation period, which could be a time period that you could be passing it on to others. It can last 9 days on some surfaces, but they're not really sure what surfaces. So that's a fact to think about. It actually prefers cold to hot, and it prefers dry, which is interesting. So dry and cold is your best bet for an environment that it's not going to do well in. Death rate has, it seems it's around 3.4% is the latest data. And so thinking about some actions, I think, no hugging or kissing. I think even if you have a partner, I think keeping distance is really good, so one person might be able to be healthier than the other. If you're a single person, it's really not a time for hookups, and that's coming from me. Considering your distance from everybody, 5 feet distance is probably a really good thing. I've been doing 2 grams of vitamin C a day, and I do a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in water heated with honey, which I think is really good for a lot of things. Washing my clothes after I get home, and thinking that heat kills it. So things that you need to sterilize, heat, and dry that can be put in the oven, you can put in the oven for a few minutes. That might be helpful. And but do remember that it's interesting that this is bringing sort of a myopic focus to us while so many other things are going on in the world, and while our president may be doing any number of things that we might not be noticing at this time. So I thought I'd do this video with my mother because she was born in 1928, and she's been through World War II, and she's been through other times when there have been different crises. And so what do you think is important, Mom, when people...
Well, I think it's important to think about positive things that you can do while the crisis is pending. For instance, we have closets to clean out, and you could make your house perfect if you stay home.
That's true. You get an opportunity to do things, and I think that people put those projects off forever, things that they really might have enjoyed doing otherwise, but you get caught up in your other activities that you're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I suggest too along that line is to be able to work on cleaning out your house, getting rid of things, organizing, preparing your estate, things that you don't need, just so that it's all simpler. We all have too much stuff, and being able to get rid of some of those things. I think of all the people who are working in schools or in jobs where they have to be in contact with other folks all the time. And so it's not something to fear. I think it's important to just realize that whatever environment you have to be in that environment. People are recovering, but also to be really aware of some people have jobs like first responders where they're just really affected and high risk. And so we really have to be grateful for those folks and folks who maybe are in jobs where they have to go even though there's high risk. And I commend those people. We should be really grateful for them in our culture, helping to make things happen.
I understand that older people are the most vulnerable people. So actually what should happen is they should stay home as much as they could, because I stay home all the time as much as I can during this crisis. It seems like the wisest thing to do.
I think that's a great suggestion. And also, I think for all of us just in our privilege box to be aware that we don't really know when someone's immunocompromised, so really keeping that 5-foot distance is key. I have people coming up to me all the time within the 6-inch distance, and it's not helpful. I think none of us would want to be responsible for someone's sickness or even death. And so we've lived a long time as a culture with this privilege that nothing can really affect us here in the U.S., that where we are just going to have to not experience things that other people in the world experience. And this is one of those opportunities where that's changed. And we have this false sense of that in our subconscious, that things really can't hurt us in a devastating way. But I think it's pretty likely that we will see hundreds of thousands of cases.
I've survived many, many different kinds of, what's the word?
I guess, I don't know, different crises in life.
Yeah, crises in my life, yeah. I've survived many of them. To begin with, the year I was born, 1928, there was a big epidemic of a virus, and it was called
Was that encephalitis?
encephalitis, yeah. And that was the big thing. I was hospitalized for 3 weeks, and I don't know if I ever actually got over it, because it was a dangerous thing.
And then you
It
went-
comes from horses.
And you went through polio, too.
Well, my sister had polio when she was 21, and she had problems with that. She was in an iron lung. And to get back to the crisis business, you can always do things to be productive at that time.